Welcome to our course on English at the supermarket. I'm so glad you're here, and I want to warmly welcome you to this exciting learning journey. As we dive into essential dialogues and vocabulary, I encourage you to follow each slide carefully. This will help you absorb the information and truly benefit from the lessons. Taking notes on important points will also enhance your understanding and retention, so feel free to jot down anything that stands out to you. If you have questions, don't hesitate to review the content again. Sometimes, revisiting what we've learned can bring clarity. Throughout this course, we will focus on practical conversations that you can use in a supermarket setting. Imagine being able to confidently ask for assistance, understand prices, and navigate the aisles with ease. By the end of this course, you will master essential phrases and vocabulary that will make your shopping experience in English much more enjoyable and stress-free. Think of this as not just a lesson, but a toolkit for everyday life. Whether you're traveling, living abroad, or simply want to improve your language skills, the knowledge you gain here will be incredibly valuable. Get ready to engage with real-life scenarios that will empower you to communicate effectively. I assure you, by the end of our time together, you will feel more confident in your ability to converse in English while shopping. So let's get started and make the most of this course together. Continuing our course, let's focus on Chapter 1, Preparing for Shopping. Our goal here is to master essential dialogues and vocabulary that will ensure a confident and smooth shopping experience in English-speaking supermarkets. Now, think about the last time you went shopping. Did you have a list? Knowing what you need can really make your trip easier. By preparing ahead of time, you can save yourself from feeling overwhelmed. It's interesting to observe that when you have the right phrases ready, you can navigate the store with much more ease. In this chapter, we will learn how to start conversations, especially with store employees, and how to express what you need clearly. For instance, if you want to ask for help, you might say, "Excuse me, can you help me find?" This simple phrase opens the door to getting the assistance you need. Notice that we're building on the idea of effective communication, just like we discussed in the previous slide about practical dialogues. Here, we're taking that a step further by equipping you with specific vocabulary and phrases that will make you feel more at home in any supermarket. As we move forward, we'll also explore how to create a shopping list together, which is a practical tool that will serve you well. Having a well-thought-out list not only helps you remember what you need, but also gives you the confidence to ask for those items when you arrive at the store. So let's dive into this first chapter and prepare ourselves for a successful shopping experience. By the end of this section, you'll be ready to tackle the aisles with confidence. Moving forward in our journey, let's take a closer look at what you will learn today. This slide outlines 4 key areas that will enhance your shopping experience in an English-speaking supermarket. First, we will focus on starting conversations. This is crucial because approaching employees and other customers can sometimes feel intimidating. Think about how helpful it is to know simple, common phrases that make initiating a conversation feel natural. For example, saying, "Excuse me, could you help me find?" opens up a friendly dialogue and makes it easier to ask for help. Next, we will dive into navigating the supermarket. Understanding key vocabulary for products and different sections will be invaluable. Imagine walking into a store and knowing exactly where to find dairy products or fresh produce because you recognize the signs and terminology. This knowledge not only saves time, but also boosts your confidence. Then, we'll tackle prices and payment methods. Knowing how to ask about prices is essential. You might find yourself asking, "How much is this?" or "Can I pay with my credit card?" Being equipped with these phrases will help you feel at ease when checking out. Finally, we'll discuss unexpected situations. Despite our best plans, things sometimes don't go as expected. Learning specific phrases to handle issues, like asking for assistance when something goes wrong, can make a big difference in your shopping experience. Notice how each of these areas connects back to our previous discussions on effective communication and preparation. By the end of today's lesson, you'll feel much more prepared to face various situations in the supermarket confidently. Let's get started. Now that we have outlined the key areas we'll explore in this course, let's dive into our first scene, which focuses on creating a shopping list. This is such an essential part of preparing for any supermarket visit. Think about it. When you set off to shop without a list, it can be easy to forget items or even buy things you don't need. Sarah, our character for this scene, is taking a proactive approach by making a list before heading to the supermarket. Imagine Sarah saying, "Hello, John. I am making a list for my supermarket visit later today." This simple statement sets the stage for our discussion. It shows that she is organized and ready to tackle her shopping. Notice how she uses clear language to express her intention. This is a great example of effective communication, just like we talked about in the previous slides. It's important to articulate your needs clearly, especially when you're in a busy environment like a supermarket. John responds, "Oh, that sounds good. What are you planning to buy?" This interaction emphasizes the importance of sharing your plans with others. It's interesting to observe that discussing your shopping list can not only help you remember what you need, but also open up a dialogue that may lead to additional suggestions or reminders for items you might have forgotten. As we move forward, think about how you can apply this scene to your own life. Next, we'll explore specific items Sarah might include on her list, which will reinforce the vocabulary we need for navigating the supermarket aisles. By learning how to communicate what you need effectively, you'll be well on your way to feeling confident in any shopping situation. Let's continue this journey and see how Sarah's list unfolds. Continuing our journey, let's take a closer look at the details of Sarah's shopping list. As she begins her conversation with John, she says, "I need to buy some fresh fruits and vegetables first. Maybe some apples, bananas, and carrots." This statement is a great example of how to express your needs clearly. Notice that Sarah uses the word some, which is a very common structure in everyday English. When we talk about quantities that are not specific, saying some helps us communicate effectively without needing to count every item. For instance, when she mentions some apples, it's understood that she doesn't have an exact number in mind, and that's perfectly fine in casual conversation. Now, John responds, "That's healthy? Are you planning to buy any meats?" This exchange highlights an important aspect of shopping discussions, sharing ideas and suggestions. It's interesting to see how this simple conversation can spark thoughts about balanced meals. John's response brings us to the next category on her list: meats. As we think about what Sarah might include, consider popular options like chicken or beef. These are staples in many diets and can be found in the meat section of the supermarket. Reflecting on our earlier discussions about effective communication, we see how listing specific items not only helps Sarah organize her shopping, but also makes it easier for her to engage in conversation with others. As we move forward, we'll explore more vocabulary related to fruits, vegetables, and meats, so you'll feel comfortable discussing your grocery needs in any situation. Think about your own shopping habits. What fruits or vegetables do you often buy? Let's keep building on this foundation as we prepare for our next steps in navigating the supermarket. Moving forward in our journey, we now enter Chapter 2, which focuses on navigating the supermarket aisles with confidence. As we discussed in the previous slide, having a shopping list is crucial, but knowing how to find those items in the store is just as important. Imagine walking into a supermarket for the first time. It can be a bit overwhelming, right? With so many aisles and products, it's easy to feel lost. However, when you know how to ask for help and recognize the layout, you can quickly find exactly what you need. Our goal here is to equip you with the skills to do just that. For instance, if you're looking for fruits and vegetables, knowing to ask, "Where is the produce section?" can guide you directly to the right aisle. It's interesting to observe that even if you don't know the store layout, using simple phrases can connect you with employees who are more than willing to point you in the right direction. Think about the last time you were in a new place. How did you feel when you couldn't find what you were looking for? By learning key phrases and understanding how to navigate, you can eliminate that frustration. Imagine confidently striding through the aisles, knowing you can ask for assistance if needed. As we continue, we'll also take a look at the supermarket layout, helping you familiarize yourself with typical sections like dairy, meat, and bakery. This will make your shopping experience smoother and more efficient. So, let's dive into how you can effectively locate items and make your shopping trips enjoyable and stress-free. Now that we've established the importance of having a shopping list and how to navigate the store with confidence, let's dive into a crucial skill: asking for help in locating different sections of the supermarket. This is where the phrase, "Where is the?" becomes your best friend. Think about it. When you step into a supermarket, especially if it's your first time, you might not know where everything is. That's perfectly normal. Using this simple phrase can make all the difference. For example, if you're looking for dairy products, you can ask, "Where is the dairy section?" This not only helps you find what you need, but also shows others that you're engaged and proactive in your shopping. Now, let's explore some specific sections you might want to locate. If you need fresh produce, you can ask, "Where is the produce aisle?" This is where you'll find fruits and vegetables, like the apples and carrots we mentioned earlier. If you're in the mood for some baked goods, you might ask, "Where is the bakery?" Here, you can find fresh bread, pastries, and more. And if you're looking for something a little more refreshing, like a cold drink, you could inquire, "Where is the beer aisle?" Notice how each of these questions is straightforward and easy to remember. Practicing these phrases can make your shopping experience so much smoother. It's interesting to observe that by simply asking for directions, you not only save time, but also feel more confident in your ability to navigate the store. As we continue, we'll look at the layout of a typical supermarket to help you visualize where these sections are located. This will further equip you with the knowledge to make your shopping trips enjoyable and efficient. So, let's explore how to familiarize ourselves with the layout of a supermarket. Continuing our journey, let's take a closer look at the layout of a typical supermarket. Understanding how the store is organized can significantly ease your shopping experience. Just think about how much simpler it would be to find your items if you knew where everything is located. Imagine walking into a supermarket. You see fresh produce on your left, dairy products on your right, and baked goods straight ahead. Familiarizing yourself with this layout means you can navigate efficiently, saving time and reducing frustration. It's interesting to observe how many people spend too much time searching for items simply because they're not aware of the store's setup. For example, if you know that the cereal aisle is usually near the dairy section, you can grab your milk and cereal in one go. Or, if you're looking for snacks, knowing that they are typically located at the end of the aisles can help you make a quick detour before heading to checkout. Now, when you're in the store, you might notice signs hanging above each aisle, guiding you to the right sections. If you're unsure, don't hesitate to ask an employee using the phrases we've discussed like, "Where is the?" This not only helps you find what you need, but also reinforces your confidence in navigating the store. Next, we'll delve deeper into specific sections and products, building on this foundational knowledge so you can feel even more at ease during your shopping trips. By understanding the layout and knowing how to ask for assistance, you're well on your way to becoming a savvy shopper. Continuing our course, we now step into Scene 2, where Sarah is looking for a specific item in the supermarket. This scenario perfectly illustrates how to apply the skills we've been building. Now that you know how to navigate the aisles and ask for directions, let's see this in action. Imagine Sarah standing in the aisle with a puzzled look on her face. She needs canned tomato sauce for her dinner recipe, but she's not quite sure where to find it. This is where our previously learned phrases come into play. Sarah approaches an employee and politely asks, "Excuse me, where can I find canned tomato sauce?" This simple yet effective question not only shows her confidence, but also opens up a dialogue with the employee. Notice how using "excuse me" makes the request polite and respectful, which is always a good practice in any conversation. The employee responds, It's in aisle 5, next to the pasta. Here, we see two important points. First, Sarah successfully finds the item she needs, and second, she learns where to look for similar products in the future. Imagine how relieved and empowered she feels, knowing she can quickly locate this item next time. This is the kind of confidence we want you to have when you're in a supermarket. As we move forward, remember that asking for help isn't just about finding items. It's also about building connections with the people around you. In the upcoming slides, we'll explore more practical phrases and vocabulary that will enhance your shopping experience. So, let's keep this momentum going and prepare you to tackle pricing and payment in the next chapter. Moving forward in our journey, we now arrive at Chapter 3, where we focus on prices and payment. This is a crucial aspect of your shopping experience, because knowing how to ask about prices and how to make payments clearly and politely can make a big difference. Think about it. You've found the items you need, but now you need to know how much they cost. This is where the phrase, "How much is this?" becomes essential. For example, if you're holding a box of cereal, simply ask, "How much is this?" It's straightforward and gets you the information you need right away. Now, if you're buying multiple items, you might want to ask, "How much are these?" This slight change in wording allows you to inquire about more than one product at a time. Picture yourself at the checkout, surrounded by snacks and drinks, and you want to confirm the total cost before proceeding. This is your moment to shine, using the phrases we've discussed to ensure everything is clear. Additionally, it's important to be aware of the different payment options available. You might want to ask, "Do you take credit cards?" Or, "Can I pay with cash?" These questions help you understand the best way to complete your purchase. As we discuss these phrases, notice how polite and clear communication can lead to a smoother transaction. This not only makes the process easier for you, but also reflects respect toward the cashier and store staff. In the next slides, we'll explore specific payment methods and how to handle various situations at the checkout. By mastering these skills, you'll feel even more confident as a shopper. Let's continue to build on this foundation. Now that we've covered how to inquire about prices, let's dive deeper into this essential aspect of shopping. When you're in the supermarket, knowing how to ask about the cost of items is crucial. Remember the phrases we've discussed. "How much is this?" for a single item, and "How much are these?" when you're asking about multiple items. For instance, if you're eyeing a loaf of bread, you can simply ask, "How much is this loaf of bread?" The cashier might respond, "It's $3.50. This not only gives you the price, but also helps you practice the correct phraseology. Notice how clear and direct this communication is. In casual conversations, you might hear prices expressed differently, like saying $3.50 instead of $3.50. This is common in everyday speech and helps keep the conversation flowing smoothly. For example, if you see an item priced at $1.99, you can ask about it without hesitation. The same goes for $5 or $12.75. Being comfortable with these expressions will enhance your confidence as you make purchases. As you continue to practice, think about how important this knowledge is when you're budgeting your shopping list. It allows you to quickly assess if an item fits within your price range. You may even realize that asking about prices can lead to savings, especially if you compare similar items. Looking ahead, we'll explore how to handle payment options and what to say at the checkout. By mastering these skills, you'll not only become more efficient in your shopping, but also feel empowered in your interactions with store staff. Let's keep building on this knowledge and prepare for the next steps in our shopping journey. Continuing our course, let's explore payment options, an essential part of your shopping experience. Now that you've learned how to ask about prices, it's time to consider how you'll pay for your items. Being clear about payment methods can help make your shopping trips smoother and more efficient. Think about the different ways you might pay. For example, you might want to know if the store accepts credit cards. You can simply ask, "Do you take credit cards?" This question is straightforward and shows that you're ready to complete your purchase. Imagine you're at the checkout and you're holding your items, feeling confident as you ask this question. The cashier will likely respond, "Yes, we do," which reassures you that you can proceed. It's also important to know that some people prefer to pay with cash. In this case, you can ask, "Can I pay with cash?" This is a simple yet effective question that ensures you have the right payment method. Notice how asking these questions not only clarifies your options, but also establishes a polite conversation with the cashier. In today's world, digital payments are becoming increasingly popular. You might be interested in using your phone to pay. If so, you could ask, "Do you accept Apple Pay?" This shows you're up to date with modern payment methods and can make transactions even easier. As we think about these payment options, remember that knowing the right questions to ask can help you feel more in control during your shopping experience. It makes the whole process less stressful. In our next slides, we'll take a closer look at what happens at the checkout, including common phrases you might hear and use. By mastering these interactions, you'll become a confident shopper, ready to tackle any situation. Let's keep going. Moving forward in our journey, we now delve into the specific payment methods you might encounter at supermarkets, particularly in the United States and the United Kingdom. It's fascinating to see how technology has changed the way we pay. One method that has gained immense popularity is contactless payments. This allows you to simply tap your card or device to complete a transaction, making the process quick and convenient. Imagine you're at the checkout and you have your items ready. You might hear the cashier say, "You can tap your card here." To make sure you're ready, you can confidently ask, "Can I tap my card?" This question shows that you're informed about this modern payment method. Notice how asking for this option not only makes your transaction smoother, but also helps you feel more relaxed during the payment process. Let's consider another scenario. You might be at a self-checkout station where you can manage your own purchases. If you prefer to use contactless payment, you can still ask the machine if it accepts this method. This way, you ensure you're using the most efficient way to pay, just like when you're paying for coffee at a cafe. It's interesting to observe that many young shoppers today prefer contactless payments because it saves time and is often quicker than fumbling for cash or entering a PIN. This trend reflects a shift in shopping habits and technological advancements, making it essential for you to be familiar with these terms. As we prepare to explore what happens at the checkout in our next slide, remember that mastering these payment phrases will enhance your confidence as a shopper. You'll be well equipped to handle any situation that arises, making your shopping experience not only easier but also more enjoyable. Let's keep building on your skills. Now that we've covered payment methods, let's move into a real-life scenario at the checkout. Picture this. John has gathered all his groceries and it's time to pay. This moment can feel a bit intimidating, but with the skills you've learned, John is ready to handle it smoothly. As John approaches the cashier, he confidently says, "Hi, I'd like to pay for these items, please." Notice how this simple greeting sets a friendly tone for the interaction. It's always a good idea to start with a polite approach, as it helps create a positive experience for both you and the cashier. The cashier responds, "Certainly. Will that be cash or card?" This is a typical question you'll hear at the checkout. It's interesting to observe how cash and card payments are still the most common options. John replies, "Card, please," showing that he's prepared to use the payment method he prefers. This exchange is practical and straightforward. You can see how being clear about your intentions helps everything flow more smoothly. Just like John, you can practice this dialogue to become more comfortable when it's your turn at the checkout. Imagine being able to confidently state what you want, whether it's at a supermarket, a cafe, or any store. As we move on to the next slide, we'll discuss some common phrases you might hear as you finish up at the checkout, including the ever-popular question from cashiers, "Anything else?" Understanding these interactions will further enhance your shopping experience. You're doing great, and soon you'll be navigating the checkout process like a pro. Continuing our journey, let's focus on a common phrase you'll encounter at the checkout. "Anything else?" This question is often asked by cashiers as they wrap up your transaction. It's interesting to observe how this simple phrase plays a key role in ensuring that your shopping experience is complete and satisfying. Imagine you're at the register, and after scanning your items, the cashier looks at you and asks, "Will there be anything else today?" This is their way of checking if you need to add anything more to your purchase. It's a polite inquiry, which also gives you a moment to think. You might remember that you forgot to grab a snack or a drink. If you don't have anything else to add, you can respond confidently with, "No thank you, that's all." This phrase is not only clear, but also shows appreciation for the cashier's help. Notice how using polite expressions can enhance the friendliness of your interaction, making it a more pleasant experience for both you and the cashier. This exchange is vital because it reflects good communication. Just like John did when he approached the cashier, your response reinforces a smooth flow in the conversation. Think about how these interactions can build your confidence as a shopper. You're not just completing a transaction, you're engaging in a dialogue that adds to your overall experience. As we prepare for the next slides, we'll explore some additional useful phrases and vocabulary that will further equip you for various situations in the supermarket. By mastering these expressions, you'll be prepared for any encounter while shopping. Let's keep progressing together. Moving forward in our journey, let's explore common situations and additional vocabulary that will enhance your shopping experience at the supermarket. The goal here is to expand your repertoire of phrases and words so you can confidently handle various everyday scenarios while shopping. As we've seen, interactions at the checkout are just one piece of the puzzle. But what about other situations you might face? For instance, you may need to ask for help finding a specific product. Imagine you're in the aisle and you can't see what you need. A friendly approach would be to ask an employee, "Excuse me, can you help me find the pasta?" This question not only shows your willingness to engage, but also opens up an opportunity for a helpful response. Notice that using clear and direct language makes it easier for others to understand your needs. This principle applies to many situations in the supermarket. Perhaps you want to inquire about a promotion or a product's expiration date. You could ask, "Is this on sale?" Or, "When does this expire?" These questions can help you make informed choices and avoid any surprises later. It's also interesting to observe that knowing a few extra phrases can make a significant difference. For example, if you want to know if a store has a loyalty program, you might say, "Do you have a rewards program?" This shows that you're interested in building a relationship with the store, which can lead to savings in the future. As we move on to the next slide, we'll focus on some very useful phrases that can further assist you in these common situations. By mastering this vocabulary, you'll be prepared to navigate any shopping experience with confidence. Let's keep building on your skills together. Now that we've explored common situations and conversational strategies, let's dive into some very useful phrases that can really enhance your shopping experience. These phrases will empower you to express your needs and preferences clearly, making your interactions more effective and enjoyable. For instance, when you finish your purchase, you might find yourself needing a receipt. You can confidently ask, "Can I have a receipt, please?" This simple request helps you keep track of your expenses, especially if you need to return an item later. It's interesting to observe how asking for a receipt is a common practice, yet it can sometimes be overlooked. Another useful phrase is, "Don't you have something cheaper?" This can be a great way to explore your options if you find something that's just a bit out of your budget. Consider it like a friendly negotiation. You're not just stating a preference, but also opening a conversation that might lead to better deals. If you come across an item that feels too pricey, you might say, "This is too expensive." This phrase not only expresses your feelings, but can also prompt the staff to offer alternatives or discounts, which is beneficial for you as a shopper. Finally, when considering larger purchases, asking, "Does this come with a warranty?" is a smart move. It shows that you're thinking ahead and want to ensure your investment is protected. This kind of inquiry can save you from future headaches and it demonstrates your savvy shopping skills. As we move into the next slide, we'll build on this vocabulary by looking at essential everyday products and how to name them in English. Mastering these terms will further equip you for successful shopping. Let's keep this momentum going. Moving forward in our journey, let's focus on essential vocabulary that will empower you during your shopping experiences. As we discussed in the previous slides, having the right phrases at your disposal is crucial for effective communication. Now, let's explore some common products you might encounter in the supermarket. First, let's look at everyday items like milk, eggs, and cheese. These are staples in many households. When you think about it, knowing how to ask for these products in English can make a big difference. For example, if you need milk, you can simply say, "Where can I find the milk?" Or, "Can I have a gallon of milk, please?" This confidence in asking will help you navigate the aisles with ease. Next, we have meat products like chicken, beef, and fish. Imagine you're at the butcher shop and you want to buy some chicken. You could say, "I'd like a pound of chicken, please." This not only helps you get what you need, but also allows you to practice your pronunciation and fluency. Don't forget about pantry basics like pasta, rice, and cereal. If you're making dinner, you might find yourself saying, "Do you have any whole grain pasta?" Notice how being specific can lead to better results. In addition to these products, it's also important to know some key terms. For instance, understanding the word discount can help you spot sales and save money. If you see a sign that says discount, you might ask, "What items are on discount today?" Also, familiarizing yourself with terms like customer and grocery list will enhance your shopping vocabulary. When you create a grocery list, you're not just organizing your shopping, you're also preparing yourself to communicate effectively. As we wrap up this slide, keep these essential words in mind, as they will be foundational for our next topics. In the following slides, we will put this vocabulary into practice, helping you become even more confident while shopping. Continuing our course, now that we've covered essential vocabulary for common products, let's focus on the importance of practicing this vocabulary in a meaningful way. One of the most effective strategies for memorizing English words is to connect them with real images of the products. This method not only strengthens your memory, but also makes learning more engaging and fun. Think about it. When you see a picture of milk, eggs, or cheese, you can instantly associate the visual with the word in English. For example, as you look at an image of fresh strawberries, try saying, "These are strawberries." Notice how this practice can help reinforce the connection between the word and the item, making it easier for you to recall when you're out shopping. You might even create flashcards with images on one side and the English names on the other. This way, you can test yourself or even have someone else quiz you. This kind of interactive learning can be quite enjoyable and effective. Additionally, when you're at home or in a supermarket, take a moment to name the products you see around you. Imagine you're walking down the aisle and you spot a box of cereal. Say to yourself, "This is cereal." This simple act of vocalizing the names helps commit them to memory. As you practice, you'll find that your confidence will grow. You'll become more comfortable asking for these products in English when you're shopping. In the next slide, we will discuss practical steps to take for your weekly practice challenge, ensuring you can apply what you've learned in real-life situations. Let's keep building on your skills together. As we reach the end of our course, let's take a moment to recap what we've learned together. We started by preparing for our shopping trips, mastering essential dialogues and vocabulary that help us navigate the supermarket with confidence. We explored how to initiate conversations, ask for product locations, and inquire about prices and payment options. Each scenario we practiced, whether it was making a grocery list, finding items, or checking out, has equipped you with practical skills for real-life situations. I want to sincerely thank you for your participation and dedication throughout this journey. Your commitment to learning these essential phrases and vocabulary is commendable, and it will serve you well in everyday situations. Remember, the ability to communicate effectively while shopping is not just about language. It's about enhancing your overall experience and making your life easier. As you move forward, I encourage you to review the material whenever you need to. Practice makes perfect, and revisiting these dialogues will reinforce your knowledge. Imagine yourself in a supermarket in an English-speaking country using the vocabulary and phrases we've covered. Whether you practice out loud or write them down, every effort counts. Simulating conversations with friends or fellow learners can also solidify your skills. These interactions will help you feel more comfortable and confident when it's time to shop in real life. In our next session, we'll focus on reviewing and practicing dialogues in various everyday scenarios, helping you to integrate what you've learned into your daily routine. Congratulations on completing this course. You've taken a significant step towards mastering English in the shopping context. Keep practicing, stay curious, and remember that learning is a journey. You're well on your way to becoming a confident shopper.